Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. We are back with Live at 5 at SFC Defined. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all so much. Got some stuff to talk about today. We're closing out our series or our theme for the month of July, internal oppression. And we're going to get into that. But, I'm going to spend the next few months every Sunday, just reminding you about our cruise that's coming up. You have now about 15, 16 days to get your deposit paid. I need you to do that for me. I really am excited about this. We've gotten some very, very strong interest in it. We've got people who already paid for their space, and we are excited. So I need you to join me on March the 11th or the 16th on Carnival Cruise Lines as we go to Turks and Caicos, Coco Cay, and Nassau. So we are going to do that little archipelago of the Bahama Islands. Bahamian, I guess is the way to say it. Island, and I want you guys to be a part of it. I do. It's going to be amazing. It is a spirit, mind, and body type conference. We'll spend the first day talking about that, sort of kind of set the tone, set the atmosphere, and then the rest of the time you're going to be able to just enjoy yourself, taking some time for self-care and getting to know yourself. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. And we're going to keep doing these every week so that by the time March comes, you are absolutely ready to just go out and let your hair down and all that good stuff. So I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. We are excited here at our team, the SFC Defined. We are excited about it. We are looking forward to meeting those of you in person that we've not been able to meet, that you are faithful participants in the show and faithful participants in supporting our efforts at SFC Defined. So we want to just take the time and get to know you. Bring a friend along. The prices that you have been given are they're the price for 2 people per room. So just remember that it's a price for 2 people per room. If you want to be by yourself in a room, then of course the price will go up. Okay, so that's understood. Let's get into it today. I'm not going to keep you long. It's too pretty of a day to be inside. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The weather is beautiful. You couldn't ask for anything better. Appreciate you guys joining me today. Let's talk about internal oppression. Last week, we're going to finish up this week, but last week we talked about a quote that I gave you. And you guys really gave some good input. For those of you that were not here, that are my avid commentators and responders, I'm going to pose that as we close this out, because I really think that what we talked about last week needs a part 2. And the quote says this: what we know about oppressed people is when they can't enjoy true freedom, they surround themselves with symbols of that freedom. What we know about oppressed people is that when they cannot enjoy true freedom, they surround themselves with symbols of that freedom. Basically saying, just as a recap from last week, that simply means that people who are oppressed and need material things to give the appearance of being free, they do things like go out and buy cars or expensive clothes, expensive things that they know that they can afford, with the hope that that will define them, with that hope that that will make them truly free. What we have been talking about for the last several weeks is knowing what that true freedom looks like from your perspective. We're not talking about anybody else. We're simply talking about what freedom looks like for us. I don't want you to surround yourselves with the symbols of freedom. A lot of people will give the appearance of being financially free, even when they are financially oppressed, by going out getting stuff that they can't afford. You know what I mean? They'll give the appearance of being free from oppression regarding relationships, and they just go out and date anyone just so that they can have that appearance of having somebody on their arm when they really aren't truly free. So we enjoy appearances of or the symbols of true freedom, and we really don't know what that true freedom feels like or looks like. And that's what we need to talk about. We can readily identify what external oppression is. We talked about systemic uh, oppression, we talked about racial oppression, we talked about gender oppression, we mentioned all of that, but very few people will be brave enough, in my opinion, brave enough to say, I am oppressed internally. I am my own worst critic. I am my own worst enemy because there are things that I can't seem to shake. I'm in bondage internally. There are thoughts that I think about me. There are things that I say about me that's keeping me internally oppressed. The word I can't, or things like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. All these things are the handcuffs that bind us internally, that will disallow us to move forward, that will disallow us to tap into something greater, that really will inhibit us from finding out who we truly are. That's the key, finding out who we truly are. So let me hear, you guys, Catherine and Tanya, I appreciate y'all. Denise, so glad to have you back and see you guys. But let me hear what your thoughts are about that quote. People who are oppressed often try to give the appearance of, or they try to enjoy the freedom, the let me just stop and give you the quote again. What we know about oppressed people is when they can't enjoy true freedom, they surround themselves with the symbols of that freedom. So what are your thoughts about that? I'm curious. I am so curious to know about that. When people that are oppressed often try to surround themselves with the symbols of freedom, not knowing what true freedom really is. Some of you last week, you talked about your internal oppressions and all those things. I know for me, I often hid behind what I would call I don't even know how to say it, my assessment of myself of being timid or shy. And I was allowing that to oppress me, to keep me from moving forward. I would say, I can't do that. I can't speak in front of everybody. I can't sit in front of a camera. I can't do that. And it was until I decided that I was no longer going to allow that to be an oppressor that I started tapping into new strengths that I had that I didn't know that I had or wouldn't have known that I had I not broken that internal oppression. And that internal oppression starts with a mindset, like everything else do about us. It starts with our mindset. And we've got to be able to break the chains of that internal oppression, those negative thoughts, those negative feelings about who we are. We can easily, I was a part of this show today. The guy is out of the UK, and he puts on this podcast for authors, Black authors in particular. And there was one author on there who, I think she was out of Chicago, I think is what she said. But she was talking about her struggle and how she was so depressed, so much so that she gained an excessive amount of weight. And it went on for 3 years, that she just didn't realize that she was doing what she was doing to herself. Like, she was so dealing with oppression and dealing with depression. And she said she hid it so well that her own mother didn't even know. She wrote a book. And it wasn't until she allowed her mother to read the book that her mother was like, oh my God, I didn't know. So we have become masters. We have become master illusionists, and we hide those things that are oppressing us, those negative thoughts and those negative feelings about ourselves. So we put this mask on when we go outside in public, but then when we come back home and it's just us having to deal with us, then that's when we struggle. Folk can't, I wish that I wish that we could matter more to us than what folk matter to us. If we could ever get to the place that your opinion about yourself meant more to you than other people's opinions about you, talk about breaking chains, talk about uh, breaking free and enjoying the liberties that true freedom can bring you. When you move the way you are led within your intuitiveness to move, when you speak based off of what you intuitively feel, then you open up doors, you open up ways, your journey shifts, and you get to tap into the true you. Denise says this. I think it's true to an extent. I also think people trying to keep up with the Joneses is another way for a person not to get to know who they truly are. Absolutely. You know, we often want everybody else's life. I often say this, you know, the grass might look greener on the other side, but nobody ever asks how high the water bill is, you know, and we don't. Like, I want what you have, but are you willing to go through what I went through to get it? I like what you have. Can I get that? Yes, you can, but you got to follow your own journey and you got to follow your own path. Um, I don't think I don't think that there's anything that anybody else can ever have that I can't have. I just have to follow my own path to get there, and that's the thing that scares most people. You know, they want it now, they want it quick, and they simply just like, I don't know how by any means necessary. Yeah, the grass looks greener, but how much is the water bill? Are you willing to pay the cost to keep the grass green? And that's what we don't. You know, a lot of people, you know, think that the grass is over greener on one side, but sometimes based off of what we just said about how they want the symbols of, sometimes it's artificial turf. It's not even real grass. It's just artificial turf. And we have people that says, I want that, I want that, I want that, I got to do that, I got to do that. Well, it's not even real grass over there. It's artificial turf. And it's just a facade. It's a masquerade. It's an illusion that we fall in love with. And I think that when we get to the place that we can know our true selves and we embrace our true selves, that's when all of the internal oppression, it has to lose hold. It has to. When you are okay with saying, I am going to follow my own path, I am going to walk this journey that's been set up for my life, I think that is the moment that internal oppression, those little things about I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, it's not for me, it won't be, all of those little things that we say to ourselves that sabotages our lives, they won't have any control over us. The reason why we can't do it, the reason why we won't do it, is because we've told ourselves over and over that we can't. It's that simple. You can only rise as high as your own expectation of yourself. You cannot go beyond your expectation. You can't. You can only rise as high as you expect to. It doesn't go any farther than that. So you have to understand that when you are trying to tap into something new, when you're trying to recreate your life, when you're trying to try new things and get new results, you're going to have to get rid of first the internal oppression that you've been dealing with all of your life. So, how do you get rid of internal oppression? A lot of times it is simply a shift in mindset. You know, we talked about over and over. We think 60,000 thoughts in one day, and 95% of those 60,000 thoughts are the same thoughts that we've always thought. And that's why we end up being in this cycle we call life, where nothing changes, everything always remains the same. And it's because we simply don't have sense enough to think. And the ability to think something different about you lies only within you. It's that simple. Can't nobody tell you what to think. They can suggest, but they cannot tell you what to think. So when you get control of your thoughts, that's how you start getting rid of those internal oppressors, that negative feelings, those negative emotions, those negative thoughts, and those negative words that you keep creating about yourself. You are powerful. You are amazing. Those are things that you ought to be telling yourself. Those are things that you ought to. I am creative. Do all things. Uh, I am a force to be reckoned with. Where I am today is a learning experience. I don't have to be this way tomorrow. I don't have to be in the same spot next month. I am going to extract every lesson that I need to learn out of this experience. Either I can view it as opposition, I can view it as an obstacle, or I can view it as an opportunity. For me, opposition and obstacle isn't a choice. It's only an opportunity. It may take me a day, a few hours, even a week to get there to where I can say there is opportunity, growth in this for me. But once I lock in on it, then I am done. My mind cannot force me into a place that I don't want to go at that point. So I have to start thinking new thoughts. I have to start telling myself. I heard something on TikTok several months ago, and it was phenomenal. It's like, I can't think of the guy's name. I think he's a pastor or something, but he said, whenever you think a negative thought, you ought to say out loud, who told you that? Who told you that? And that is so true. When you start thinking about who told you that, like, why are you believing this? Who told you that? Who told you that? You can't lose the weight, or you won't ever be anybody. This job is where you're going to always be. Ask yourself, look in the mirror, who told you that? Who told you that? You can't come up with anybody other than, I guess I was talking to myself. Then change your thought. Change your thinking, because you cannot change what comes out of your mouth if at first you don't change what you allow to run through your head. That's just physics, science, whatever you want to call it. You cannot change the way you talk to yourself if you don't first change the way you think about yourself. The moment that you do, you take control. And the moment that you take control, all of these little shackles, internal oppressors, they start losing hold. They start unraveling all around you. They cannot hold you. But you've got to make up in your mind that that's what you want. You've got to make up in your mind that that's what you're going to do. You get to determine the kind of life that you want. You get to determine the kind of day you want. There was also on the show that I was on today about the Black authors, there was this guy that has written several books out of Nigeria. And I forgot what the Nigerian term was for it, but it was day. Whatever it was day. And the title or the subtitle of his book was, You've Got to Talk to Your Day. Talk to your day. What are you saying when you talk to your day? Are you getting up saying, oh my God, I don't want to go to work. I hate my job. I'm so sick of living like this. I'm so sick. I have nothing to wear. That's what you're talking. You're talking to your day. But I wonder what would happen if you start controlling what ran through your mind when your eyes first come open. Because if you can control what goes through your mind, you're also going to be able to control what comes out of your mouth. Which means that if I think positive, today is going to be the best day that I've experienced in a long time. Today, everything is going to flow for me. Today, I will get all the stoplights as I'm on my way to work. Today, I won't feel rushed. I won't feel pressured. Today is going to go smooth. Today is just going to be phenomenal. What are you saying to your day? That's the question that you have to ask. And what comes out of your mouth is predicated upon what you let go into your mind. Okay, Sonia says, yes, change your thinking, speak positive into the atmosphere. Absolutely, you have to. That's how you get rid of internal oppressors. Those internal oppressors, they sneak up. And the way they sneak up on you and grab hold to you is through your thoughts, through your mindset. So if you get to the place where you can control your thinking, you can also control your mouth. Definitely. You can control what comes out of your mouth, because we are our own worst enemy. I told you several times, multiple times in the past, that people see you the way you see yourself. If you see yourself as somebody that's confident, if you see yourself as somebody that's sure-footed, that's solid in mind, that's a go-getter, that's happy, that's jovial, then that's how people see you. And I have learned to really watch myself. I wear whatever I'm feeling on my face. I try so hard not to. But whatever is going on the inside of me is seen on the outside of me. So my personal journey has put me on the road to, I don't have to watch my face if I first watch my thoughts. Okay? So I started having to learn to watch myself. And trust me when I tell you, it is a journey. It is a journey. It is hard, because what I feel, I show. And when I allow fear, anger, frustration, worry, if I allow it on the inside, then it shows up on the outside. I cannot fix the outside if I don't first fix what's on the inside. That's just my simple message to you. That's my simple message. Sonia says, first, I think we should pray and trust God and believe and keep the faith, then love ourselves and stop comparing to others and complaining. And this should help get rid of internal oppression and should help free us. I totally agree. I totally agree. But for some, if you don't believe in prayer, believe in meditation, believe in taking time out to regroup, taking time out to think about yourself, for those who feel like that, you got to have somebody else. First, be who you want to be, who you want to see to yourself. Whatever you think that you need from the outside, you got to first be it to yourself on the inside. I guarantee you life will change. Life will change. Get rid of those internal oppressors. It's your choice. Can't nobody keep you bound when you decide to be free. Remember that. No one has the power to keep you bound when you decide to be free. I think it was Harriet Tubman that said, I freed thousands of slaves, but I could have freed thousands of more had they realized they were slaves. Realize what your internal oppression is and get rid of it. Be honest with yourself. You owe no explanation to anybody. You owe no, let them see a new you. And when they ask what happened, tell them I just got rid of the handcuffs that were holding me. I stopped telling myself that I couldn't and started telling myself that I could. I stopped telling myself that I'm not worthy, and I started telling myself I'm more than enough. So it's all about you. Once you identify yourself as being internally oppressed, that's the moment that you need to decide that I will not live like this another moment, another second of my life. I am going to empower myself, even if the whole world decides they want to go against me. I'm going to keep myself empowered. That's it, y'all, for internal oppression. I want y'all to stay focused, stay strong, stay confident, because that's who you are. I'm just trying to bring it out of you because I know it's already there. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, Go is getting close. We got about 15 days, 16 days to where the deposit needs to be paid, and we need you to do that, okay? Go in, get it done, and let's make this our first phenomenal time together as a group of strong, focused, confident people just coming together. We can change the world with that mindset. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon. We'll see you next Sunday. Talk to you soon.